From Inc.com, this is the Inc. Productivity Tip. Expert opinions, valuable insight, and helpful advice from today's top business coaches, thought leaders, and entrepreneurs. For his forthcoming book, Outlast, investor Eric Markowitz wanted to answer a simple question. How have the world's oldest companies managed to survive so long? In Japan, there's a construction firm that's been in operation since 578. Italian arms manufacturer Beretta was founded in 1526 when Michelangelo was still walking around Rome. Companies like these have survived wars, revolutions, and massive technological and cultural shifts. Clearly, they know the secret of exceptional resilience. But when Markowitz dug into their histories, he found their resilience looks nothing like the never-say-die toughness we usually mean when we use the word today. In an excerpt from his book, Markowitz wrote, "When you study these organizations, you realize that our modern definition of resilience is dangerously incomplete. We treat resilience as a character trait, but in the real world, over long horizons, resilience behaves much more like the defining property of an ecosystem. Resilience is not just individual, it's also systematic and social. And that's not just true of a 1,400-year-old firm. Psychological research shows the same holds for modern individuals and companies as well. True resilience is made up of both parts, but most of us are only focused on one of those. So here's a thought experiment to illustrate the point, courtesy of Emiliana Simon Thomas, the science director of UC Berkeley's Greater Good Science Center. Imagine that after a violent storm, the crew of a boat are shipwrecked on an uninhabited island. What skills do they need to survive? Now, most of us would begin by naming individual traits. They'd need to be physically strong to climb coconut trees and build shelters, but also mentally strong to keep their spirits up. Being adaptable and creative would help, so would the sheer will to live. But in a classic paper, a trio of neuroscientists and psychologists examined real-life cases where people faced such perilous conditions, and they found interpersonal dynamics mattered as much as individual traits for survival. Groups that were able to divide up tasks, share resources, and discuss challenges were far more likely to get off the proverbial desert island alive, even if they were not the buffest or the cleverest. Multiple studies since have highlighted the importance of this kind of social rather than individual resilience in weathering life's toughest challenges. This is not just an interesting academic discussion. What it really means to be resilient matters for how everyday people respond to challenges. If you think resilience is only a matter of personal grit, you'll respond to challenges with a stiff upper lip and willpower. If you understand that resilience has both individual and social aspects, that it's about the person and their ecosystem, you are far more likely to reach out for support when you find yourself in trouble. When we think of grit as only a personal characteristic, we're also less likely to work together to build systems that help us all be more resilient. Maybe that's setting up a storm shelter or flood defenses in a community threatened by natural disasters, or coaching and training opportunities to support employees in demanding roles. Perhaps it's a child care circle, where a group of parents swap babysitting when other members are in a bind. So if you don't think of resilience as a team effort, it's much less likely to occur to you to invest in communal solutions to increase everyone's grit. The point is not that individual resilience doesn't matter. It does. But we're already bombarded by messages to toughen up, get resourceful, and find ways to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. What we need is a reminder of the collective kind of resilience. When life gets tough, you don't just have to grit your teeth and find a way through on your own. In fact, research shows taking that view actually damages your health and your brain long term. As Simon Thomas noted, there's another option. Work together with people to learn what each other's pain points and threats are, and openly discuss where they might be coming from. Inquire and analyze how Existing structures, policies, systems, and settings affect day-to-day experiences among the people you encounter, and crowdsource ideas for improvement. Or, as Markowitz puts it, if we want to fix our understanding of resilience, we have to stop looking at the individual hero and start looking at the architecture of the system. Companies might want to stop asking their people to do more and instead invest in unsexy maintenance, pump the brakes on growth temporarily, or find better ways to value, preserve, and share institutional knowledge. In short, if both people and organizations want to maximize their chances of not just surviving, but thriving over the long haul, they need to cultivate social as well as individual resilience. That's all for today. Today's tip was authored by Jessica Stillman. For more expert opinions from today's top business coaches and thought leaders, go to Inc.com/lead. Be sure to come back on Thursday for another helpful tip from Inc.